Hello, wonderful people. Larnuu from Larnuu Works here. So originally, I recorded a video explaining my plan on what I'm going to be working on over the summer months. But unfortunately, the audio on that video was absolutely terrible. You could hear a bunch of white noise in the background, the sound kept on cutting in and out, sometimes I would sound quiet, sometimes I would sound really loud. It was just a mess, but then again, what did I expect? My cell phone is totally busted. So I decided that since I actually want people to pay attention to this information that I'm about ready to share, it'd be best for me to record it in a comprehensible manner. So I'm re-recording everything on my beautiful Audio-Technica AT2020 microphone. That being said, this video is recorded during the middle of a thunderstorm, so if you hear some lightning outside, I apologize. So there are three big subject points I want to talk about. The current short that I'm animating, Plastic Joe, and the revival of an old series. What is that revival I'm talking about? Well, if you follow my Twitter, you would probably know, but if you don't, well, that's going to be a surprise for you when we get to that part in the video. So let's start with the first one, the short I'm currently working on. So the current name of the project is called Desire, however that's subject to change when it's actually uploaded, and it's a 3-minute long comedy short similar to the vein of College Humor Bits. As it currently stands, I have 4 or 5 more shots of animation that I need to do, and 12 lip flaps that need to be animated. This shouldn't be exactly the hardest to do because again this video is dialogue oriented, but depending on how much time, it could take me about a week or 2 weeks to finish up this video. Also, this video serves as a potential pilot for a potential comedy series that I want to do on CubePunks. The working title I have is called Doodlepad, and the idea is to have unrelated comedy sketches that are all done in the sketchy papers textured art style. If this short does well, we'll continue more videos like this, and if it doesn't, well, it'll just be a one-off thing. If you want to see that video once it comes out, go subscribe to CubePunks. We're currently on 800 subs and we're almost to 1K. Next thing on my agenda is Plastic Joe. You know, that side project that I've been working on and off on. So currently Joe has 2 phases. One is plan it and get everything for the pitch made, and number 2 is to actually produce the series. Currently we're focusing on completing just phase 1, and then we'll do phase 2 on a later date when we actually get funding and more manpower to help create the series. Phase 1 has 3 components that need to be completed. 1 is some test footage, number 2 is the story bible, and number 3 is the storyboard for the first episode. The test footage is something that I've had almost animated, aside from 2 shots, all the way back in February. However, I haven't had the time to actually fully color every single one of the frames. This would probably take me a week if I actually crack down on it, but I haven't had said time to actually do that. The second thing on the agenda is the story bible, which is a document that consists of things such as style guides, model streets, character bios and personality guides, and a timeline of the events of the series. These are things so other people can visualize what I'm trying to create with my series. All this information is going to be wrapped together in a PDF document that's going to be on the internet when I release the animatic for the first episode. Which brings me to the animatic. In terms of the writing and the voice acting, it's all completed. The only things that need to be done are my character and my brother to do a couple extra voices. There's been a lot of cool voice actors that I've gotten on board on this project, such as Dexter Manning and Soul Brother number 3.
You don't go through the yellow pages calling in a ton of losers working your way up to the big bad boy. Can we just try big boy?
The main thing, however, that's preventing from the animatic from being completed is actually me having the time to actually draw everything. I can rough everything out and get the visual flow for everything in about 3 weeks. However, it's going to take me a little bit of an extra time for me to clean up the images and actually make it visually presentable. I have a couple scenes completed, however, it's been quite a while since I've actually gotten a chance to get back at this project, so I don't know how much of it I'm going to have to redo. But anyway, how the Plastic Joe material is going to be released is that I'm going to upload the test footage whenever it gets done. However, the animatic and the story bible are going to be released on the same day when both are completed. Last and probably the most relevant thing to this YouTube channel, the thing that is the old series that I'm going to revive. Gakka Rio. Gakka Rio is going to turn into an original cartoon series over on CubePunks. It's going to retain a lot of the humor and the characters from the original series. However, I'm going to change a lot of things because the new Gakka Rio series is going to work is that I'm going to try to make it a bit more professional and try to act more like an actual TV show rather than an amateur web series that I did in high school. Along with that too, there are quite a few crucial changes, the biggest being that it's no longer in a bionicle setting, but rather a futuristic world, and the main characters are both aliens instead of Matorian. I'm going to stick to details until when it's actually made and released, but all I'm going to say now is that it's definitely a reboot of the series. There will be a lot of ideas that are reused, a lot of ideas that are changed, and a lot of ideas that are brand spanking new. I'm designing the characters right now with my brother, and we're also going to try to plan out what episodes we're going to make for the first season. Along with that, I've also started work on the soundtrack for the show. But the production of all this will be done after I finish Plastic Joe Phase 1. So, to do a quick wrap up of everything we covered here today, I'm working on a new short that should be out within 1 to 2 weeks. I'm getting Plastic Joe to a point where I can comfortably shelve it to the point where I can revive it when I get the proper funding or manpower to do so. And Gakken Ryo is going to come back in a new way. Now the question is, what does this mean for Gakken Ryo Omega? I don't quite know yet. Maybe I might continue it at some point, but as the way things are currently looking, there's a strong possibility that this is going to be basically Gakken Ryo Omega. A one-off movie that ends the characters forever, or starting from scratch and continuing to use the characters. I'd rather you do the latter. Anyway, this is Larnuu from Larnuu signing off, and I hope you've enjoyed this information.